The American President Donald Trump is really under pressure. At the moment we are speaking, he is very, very under pressure. The move he just made with tariffs, the tariff taxes, by acting on the stock market, has just cost him something serious. Yes, we have Democratic representatives who are requesting the opening of an investigation against President Donald Trump for insider trading. But in reality, what Donald Trump has done for now is very difficult to understand. But we easily understand that the gentleman, he played a false trick there. And we also understand that all this hassle he went through, increasing tariffs and others, to, according to him, satisfy America's interest. When we follow the progression, we notice that he did not do it for America's interest, but he did it for his personal interest on one hand, but also and especially for the interest of a small group of people around him, the interest of his close associates, referring to what he did yesterday, before making his about face. And it is on this basis that, obviously, we have the Democratic representatives standing up to say that he has carried out the greatest manipulation of the global market ever known. He is therefore engaged in manipulation. Instead of defending America's interest, he defends his own interest. That is to say, because Donald Trump is taking advantage of his position as head of state to satisfy his own interest and the interest of those around him. So, beyond this aspect, he made an about face, as we mentioned earlier. Yesterday evening, he made an about face. He suspended his famous tariffs, his famous customs duties for 90 days, so 3 months. But before he suspended them, as we mentioned, the announcement he made left much to be desired. So he exponentially increases the tariffs on China, what China has to pay. And China, in parallel, also increases, which systematically affects the global market. Yes, automatically it affects the stock market. The dollar falls. The American stock market falls. The European stock market falls. Even China also starts having problems. And China also responds automatically. China's response also directly affects it. Directly affects the global market. So here's what he created before, making his U-turn and suspending his famous tariffs. Donald Trump made a very important announcement on his social media. And it is this announcement that caught everyone's attention. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are going to discuss in this video conference, which I ask you to share as much as possible. Share it, give it lots of likes. To go back, first let's start with China. China, which saw that America increased its tariff to 125. China also went from 84. China also directly went to 125%. And this takes effect on April 12th, so tomorrow, Saturday. But the Chinese authorities say they increased without knowing that America had increased. So America had already gone to 145. It's reciprocity. America goes to 125, they also go to 125. America goes to 145%, they also go to 145%. It's become like child's play. Donald Trump and Xi Jinping are as if they were in the ring. It's as if they were in the ring, boxing, like in a child's game. And the problem is that even the small percentages, we won't say small percentages, because from 84 to 125, it's too much. So these percentages, which are being added, as soon as they are added at the minute, the seconds that follow, it has a direct impact on the global market. That's automatic. The stock market feels it automatically. And it directly affects the monetary value of these different currencies. So then, Donald Trump had raised it to 125. China raised it to 125. Sometime later, Donald Trump, knew he was going to make a move to bring things back to normal. he posted on his media, social, and said it is the best time to buy. It's the right time to buy, to make purchases. So it's the right time to make purchases. Sometime after, it's on his social media where he has more than 10 million followers. So it was like coming to an understanding with them to say, okay, it's good. I did the job, by now thereafter I will give up again the customs tariffs. So he posted that on his social media, and sometime later in the evening, he issued the decree to suspend himself the customs duties he had instituted, except for the customs duties on China. So many believed he did it on purpose. He knew what he was doing, obviously, he knew what he was doing, and he certainly informed some of his close associates so that they could take full advantage of the market during this chaotic period. So we learned that from this chaotic period, Donald Trump has one of his companies, which experienced a staggering growth of 20%, and other entities, people who are close to Donald Trump, have their businesses that have experienced, a meteoric rise. And so Donald Trump allegedly did this on purpose to enrich himself further and to enrich his close associates. That's why, by the way, he communicated on his social media to say it's the right time to pay. Because after this time, he will revert to the old thing. He already knew he was going to revert to the old thing. So that's why he asked for this. We have the Democratic representative who requested that an investigation be opened. It's insider trading that Donald Trump has just committed. Now, on the side of China, China has instituted 125%, a very, very strong response. But China clarifies that they did not know that America had already moved to 145. That means if they knew that America had already moved to 145, they would have also directly moved to 145. So we are waiting to see. In any case, it has become a real ping-pong game between America and China. This is not going well. Global geopolitics, the current world is truly shaken by this news. And it's very interesting. I urge the African youth to follow this news on customs duties. It allows us to understand thoroughly how things are happening internationally between the powers, since we have today a real trade war between these two major world powers. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the situation we are facing. The question is asked as to why Donald Trump made this decision. According to him, it's to allow other countries to easily access the American market while they prepare for these exorbitant customs duties. In any case, Donald Trump has put forward arguments that really don't hold water, something like that. But he alone knows what he is doing. And so, dear ladies and gentlemen, that was the headline of international news. We will continue to follow this news. Everything that will result from it, we will come back to discuss here on La Tribune, the Watch of Consciences. Thank you all. I will be back shortly with more news. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.